Hello YouTube and cryptocurrency family. My name is Harry and I am the crypto vet, and I'm coming back at you with some more Bitcoin news, more XRP news, and as requested, a Dogecoin analysis. And I always just include a little bit of history behind what's going on and what the hell the coin is, what it's used for. So that way you're just not looking at candlesticks. My mic. You're not just looking at candlesticks and random stuff on there. So without further ado, let's get started and check out CoinMarketCap. All right, on CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin is currently trading at $9,100. Ethereum 228, Tether still Tether $1, and XRP is trying to be patriotic here and bump up to 1776 for us. You can do it, buddy. And I'm also going to include VeChain, but I was hoping to do an analysis on it first, but I'm going to get to that really soon. I actually have a little bit of VeChain in my portfolio, and when I checked it, was it last night or this morning, I was like almost double because I bought it a while back. So that's cool to hear. Heard about some partnerships with them. But to get started, we're going to go back to my original Bitcoin chart, and you can see this is where I actually got the one thumbnail. And this is the weekly candle chart. We also have on here the 20 exponential moving average, 20-week exponential moving average, as well as the 50-week exponential moving average. And I'm actually going to take the 50 off, and we're just going to look at the 20, because the 20 has been very, very important as a support or resistance line going way back. If you could just go all the way back to 2017, and I'm really big on the big picture. You have to look at everything, step back, especially when you're in these like really tight consolidation periods where the volatility is not quite there, but you know it's going to happen soon. So I always step back. Love the weekly candle charts because, you know, that's 7 days of data that's been entered in there. So if we look way back, we can see that it was a support line back in 2017. Again, the end 17. It came back and was a resistance line in April, and the 18 came here. We kind of bounced off it here. I mean, this line has been almost right all the time. Nothing is right all the time, but technical analysis is just your spotting trends, different indicators. You know, if I actually pull up indicators on here, you can see that the built-ins alone, you can make up any damn thing you want. Go through here and you adjust the different values. Like I might come over here, go to, say I want to make this 24 just so it looks not as bad, right? Go to 24 and it pops it down a little bit, brings it closer to that 50. So I like using the same indicators. I will try out new ones, but for the most part, I will always stick to the ones that I know are tried and true, ones I've seen from other YouTubers, ones I've learned on my own way back in the day when I was in school. But back to this, if we actually zoom into this spot that I said was not a very good spot to be in, we'll kind of see what's got going on here. So again, this is that long-term trend line back from when we hit our all-time high. And we see our weekly candlesticks actually coming off of this other resistance line. And the thing that makes me really worried, and why we may not have much longer to go, is this 20-week exponential moving average is now kind of making us this really small triangle here. So if we are going to start trading within this type of, you know, area here, we're talking 91.58 to, if this is going to, I assume, keep moving up, you know, 8,600, we're still in this 1,000 window, and it is constricting very quickly week by week. And this is a new candlestick. This one just closed 4 hours ago. Right? Yeah, 4 hours ago this one closed. We got this very indecisive spinning top candlestick here. Whenever I have any type of candlesticks that are in a row, I always try to throw the Fibonacci on it to see. And if we do that, we can see that this candlestick before the one we just closed, we actually had a lot of candles or wick coming down, and we had almost none coming out of the top, pretty much showing that we're kind of in that bearish trend still. So even in the past month, more of the short-term analysis, we are in the downtrend, but we still have this moving average that's always been pretty solid for Bitcoin. And again, while I'm bullish in the long run, I'm just really worried that it's going to go down for now. If you add in our RSI and our MACD, we got to almost to the point where we were almost oversold, and we're in a downtrend now. Our volume decreasing. Again, that can change at any point when if somebody tries to dump a bunch into an exchange. So overall, I still am going to stick to my guns in the long run. I'm not even testing this small window to try to make any type of trades right now. I'm pretty much just sticking to the original thing I went from the get-go. Over a week ago, I think I started a trend where I showed inverse head and shoulders forming, which overall would be forming from back in the start of October. And then we have it would have been starting back there, coming to here, and then our bottom of our shoulder, our head would be here, then our right shoulder would have to come down probably to the 8,000, maybe test the 7,600 mark. But either way, we're in this very, very tight little thing, and that's not going to be good. And I really hope it's for the up, just because I want it to go higher, but with the way everything's going in the world, I don't think it's going to happen. My technical analysis still says it's going to go down. This here is that weekly same without all the extra junk on it. If we go ahead and switch this to the daily candles, we can see that we are now below our moving average, but now this is going to be in the 20-day moving average. And we're still not able to break any of these support lines. Like I can extend this one out now, keep it on the same point where it was, and we're just not breaking through it. So there's not much telling me that I would really want to buy right now. I would say that shorting would be the best option at this point. And I'm probably not going to get into the videos on how to do leverage and short, just because I think it's really risky. There was a long learning curve. And I just don't want people to think you can jump in, you're going to lose money really fast, you're going to use your emotion and not go from there. But if anybody is interested in what I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my DOGECOIN account, which I'm not going to link, any of that crap. So this is where I have, and I actually have a short in for 88.59 and stop at 93.10 because I said I have plenty of faith. I just think we're going to go down and correct a little bit more before anything like that happens. So that's where I think Bitcoin's at. And with how tight everything is getting as far as the resistance lines as well as the 20 EMA, I say we got a month left before something has to happen up or down. Again, I still think it's going to go down. But without further ado, we're going to move on to a little bit of news. I'm going to go through these articles pretty quick, only because this is, let me see, where did I put it? Oh, I think I closed it already. This article here is Peter Schiff expects Bitcoin's pivotal 9,000 support to give way. And, as I've repeated, this line right here is what's bringing us down to that 9,000. This point being here. This line can be adjusted up and down a little bit. It just depends on where people want to put it. I like to get a lot of meat of the candlestick, especially if there's a lot of wick coming off the top. I just don't think that this line needs to go up to there. I think it touches more things and actually makes more sense here, because you can always oversell a little, overbuy, whatever. And that line, I think, is needed to be a little bit lower. But this pivotal point he thinks is going to break. Where is this thing I said? Oh, Bitcoin is unlikely to hold 9,000, says gold bull Peter Schiff. Both gold and Bitcoin have been stuck in a holding pattern over the past 2 weeks. Gold is attempting to break past that $1,800 mark, while Bitcoin is attempting to break below the 9,000. I think this just has a lot to do with everything going on. People are either holding their money, they're scared to spend it because what if it's gone and what do I do next, right? So I think there's just a lot of fear, and because of the corona, the bears are going to win this market right now. This is a real quick read, and I'll put the link in the description. But overall, I find about 50-50 articles, half of them saying this is it, we're going to the moon, and then the other half say, oh no, we got to go down first. So I said I tried to bring you both good and bad that I see. Here's one again. but that $9,000 support, if this is lost, Bitcoin's price consolidating, but what happens? So I'll tell you what happens, and just such as I did in the other videos. I actually tweeted this earlier today only because I thought the bear and the Bitcoin was kind of cute, since Bitcoin's almost always a bull market, so there's not much stuff on this one. But when it does happen, here you go. But okay, so Bitcoin has failed to challenge the multi-year resistance of 10.5 since the beginning of June 2020. This extended period of chop will ultimately result in one of two inevitable outcomes. Said these guys see the same thing I do. Everybody sees it. It's just how do they put all the pieces together to get what they do as far as their answer and all of that. So we have either a massive green candle to catch bears off guard, or a period of profit taking that will see the leading digital crypto asset fall to sub $8,000 levels in the coming weeks. Okay. We've already seen that we came up and we tried, let's go to the daily here. We tried to bust out at the beginning of July 4th. We came up. If I zoom in, here we have on 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. On the 4th, we had this big old jump. I just checked my phone and we were at 9,200. It did not last long. That was bought out real fast, or sold out real fast, and we came back down. So when I was looking at the buy orders and Kraken and all that, you could definitely see that there was a sell wall that had to be beat at many of the prices above this. And then we weren't able to do anything to prove that that was good yesterday, and now we just started again here a few hours ago, and we'll have to see what happens today. The stock market comes back today. There's not much as far as stimulus, which I'll get to as well. And let's see. Okay, so back to this article here. The weekly MACD. So the reason I didn't bring this up before is because, again, this indicator seems to be pretty good as far as whenever the MACD crosses over each other. But so whenever the weekly MACD does this, let me back up. Using the moving average divergent convergence indicator, which on the weekly chart has historically proven to be an incredible accurate indicator for buying and selling Bitcoin, you can see that the blue MACD line is starting to point down towards the orange signal line. So right here, if I go back, we can see, if I was to actually zoom this out, that we are going to start a cross on the MACD. So usually when that cross happens, we go into green, and that should be a time to buy, right? So that's pretty much all that he's going for here. But the validity behind this indicator is whenever the weekly MACD does this, it signals to investors and traders to either sell or short. In the early history of Bitcoin, both bullish MACD crosses when the blue line crosses up through the orange line, and bearish MACD crosses, what we're seeing now, were infrequent. They would occur once a year, maybe twice. So this could show a little bit of weakness in Bitcoin right now. And I said I think we're going to trade in this consolidation period until we have, I guess, some news on where we're going, because Texas, Florida, a lot of the southern states are having to reclose again. And that's not good. It's going to affect businesses, which is going to need more money. So, but that's it for that as far as Bitcoin goes for now. And then as requested, I had someone ask me to do an analysis on Dogecoin, so I'm going to just go through that really fast. What is Dogecoin? The beginner's guide to Dogecoin. So I found this here, and it has literally everything you could possibly want to know about Dogecoin. So I'm going to make it quick. The story of Dogecoin is kind of known as the meme coin. It was brought about on December 2013 when Bitcoin was only worth 1,083. If only we could buy back then. Oof, good times. But it was actually launched on December 6th, and its mascot is the little Shiba Inu dog that you see on the coin, and it's kind of just a happy coin. There's not much else to say about it other than it's used a lot for tipping. It's used as a lot for donations. They have a meme generator for the dog, so I know I've seen a million of those. Right here it says that now you know a little bit about Dogecoin. Let's see how it's used. The Dogecoin community uses its size to support good causes all over the world. and I actually didn't even check to see what their market cap is. Are they listed in the top 50? Yes, there it is. Dogecoin, number 35, with a market cap of 288, almost $289 million. That's a lot of money for the little bitty coin. In 2014, they donated a bunch. The community helped raise $50,000 for the Jamaican bobsled team. So for World Water Day, they raised $30,000 for another. The North American Stock Car Auto Racing, they $55,000. So it's basically used for trading small amounts of this token, which, you know, it's only worth how much per token? It is at 0.002306 as of right now. So that's 23 thousandths of a cent. Well, the Dogecoin has a large following on social media, so I actually originally heard about them on Reddit. This was back when I didn't know much about cryptocurrency, and I wish I had bought Bitcoin, but I didn't. Heard about it, and then, you know, many years later, right when I was graduating vet school, I heard about it, and I got a small amount just for the, you know, who knows, maybe it would. Now that I have a much more thorough understanding on crypto market and space, I don't think Dogecoin is going to be one of those that's going to get you rich, but, you know, it wouldn't hurt to have some if you just want eventually to, when blockchain technology does go crazy, to be able to, you know, tip a little bit of Dogecoin, you know, like, here you go, you fancy, right? So now that we know a little bit more about Dogecoin, let's go ahead and get into what's happening with it right now. So the Dogecoin that was born from the mean, 289, I read that earlier, I didn't remember it, making it the 35th largest cryptocurrency in the world, priced at 0.002314. So there has seen a surge of 0.08% in the last 24 hours. In this article here, Chainlink Dogecoin XRP price analysis for July 5th. I only briefly went through the Dogecoin because I wanted to show you some of the current values of it and where it ranks. So the price is still moving sideways, but above the support zone of the 0.00226, which I'm going to show you here on the charts. Additionally, the coin has the potential to surge as much as 8% in a few weeks. So I'm going to, based off of what I did on my analysis, this Dogecoin is going to, like most altcoins, is going to pretty much follow Bitcoin. So the charts that I'll use will actually be Doge to Bitcoin, but I also found TradingView had a simulated Doge to US dollar that we could look at real quick. Not much to actually say on it, but if, you know, there is a surge, altcoins go up. The unique thing about Dogecoin is, like with Ethereum and Bitcoin, when a block is mined and verified and you finally get through all the trouble, you're rewarded with 1 Bitcoin. There's a maximum supply, 21 million. With Dogecoin, these blocks are settled in usually about 1 minute, so about 2 to 5 minutes. And when a block is done, you're rewarded with Doge. So 10,000 Doge, I believe was what I read. And with that, you can now tip and do more by using your PC or whatever you're doing to mine Doge as your node for the blockchain network. So I found this interesting article. This is actually from November 8th, 2019. Dogecoin could be trade of the winter, says well-known analyst. So I really briefly went through this one. The main thing that I found on here was a lot of information on the technical analysis and trends that happened with Dogecoin that I wouldn't have looked for, because I mostly look at Bitcoin and XRP. Started looking a little bit at VeChain, but Dogecoin has been known for rapid movements of significant magnitude throughout its history. So, you know, just like the peaks and valleys we have with Bitcoin that we can track and use as trends and make indicators, you know, these are some of the things people have noticed for Dogecoin. Furthermore, some believe that it is the initiator of alt season, since the asset has previously been the first one from major altcoins to post significant increases. And we'll go over that in the analysis here. The last thing that I wanted to show on here, without getting into the Satoshis and all that, was, oh no, that was it on this one. So if we head over to Dogecoin, on this chart here, I have some indicators that I already placed, And I went ahead and started with a broad view of Dogecoin since I've never done a TA on this. I went ahead and just have my indicators that I normally use and start with, and just take a look at the big picture. So since we do follow Bitcoin, here I'm bringing up a weekly candle chart of Dogecoin compared to Bitcoin, and we can see that the 20 exponential moving average, the further we zoom in, has been acting as a line of resistance and support throughout a lot of Dogecoin's history here. In some places being just the top of a buy or sell. So I figured that could be a pretty solid line that we could follow. As far as the short-term weekly analysis, we're in a descending channel at this moment. And let me turn off the, just move this Fibonacci a little fast. Okay, we can see here that we are in a descending channel from back in April of this year, which we know we've had lots of problems and things go on since there. So if we're following in this descending channel, we are now testing the we're testing the resistance of that 20 EMA while we're in this descending channel. However, if we see this white line I have way down here, this white line has been like the line of support that they've always had. And so that's kind of where I would expect it to bounce off if Bitcoin did have a drop off. If we do have a bull run here coming, I would easily be able to see that we could come up to, if we doubled this one, you know, we would come up to maybe about here, where we would test some of these higher ones that we had, whereas this next line, that's a horizontal line, the next line of support would probably be right around here. So if we take that, bring it over here, and we can add our Fibonacci retracement, which I love, because this line is, or the Fibonacci retracement is pretty much what is used for any type of price predictions, whether, you know, it's so much lower, so much higher. It's almost always following this line. It gives you a good idea of where to go next. So if I get rid of my other indicators here, and we kind of zoom in, we can see that the bottom should be about here. This should be about there. And we can see if we were to continue in this descending channel, that we would have probably a little bit of support at these different marks. Most likely the biggest support would be probably at the 0.382 fib. And then of course going down, and then we have our line here that would be there. Pretty much its long-term support line that has been around since December of 2017. As far as the RSI and the MACD go, they are showing that we are in a downtrend as well. We have a decreasing RSI, and our MACD is in a decreasing trend as well. So if we zoom in or zoom out a little more, sorry, oops. And this is on the Trading Views USD to Dogecoin, I guess, simulation, since there's not an actual there. It's calculated by TradingView based off of probably the Bitcoin to Dogecoin. I went ahead and did just like I do in Bitcoin. We have a high here, high there, so I made me a line. I could go all the way back to here, but that triangle is going to be very, very tight, and honestly, we already know that that's a resistance line, so we can just make it, zoom it in. Went ahead and did another one from this point, which would be back in February, so we're almost in a 4-month period here. Kept my 20 and 50 moving averages that were from Bitcoin, basically. Those are the numbers I picked. Sometimes I'll go with a 21 for like a Fibonacci number. And we can see that we're trading right along that 20 exponential moving average, and we haven't been able to bust above those trend lines. And then you can also still see that we have the descending channel here that we are trading in, but that support line is way down here, so we could easily come back and just retrace this previous pattern we had before. But if I threw the fib retracement on there, you could see. So my overall for Doge, my prediction, remember guys, I am a doctor/idiot, and this is not financial advice. I would say that if you wanted to invest in Dogecoin, I would wait for a break in Bitcoin. Then during that dip would be your time to buy, and ride the bull run after that. So thank you for the comment and asking me to do a Dogecoin analysis. Hopefully that answers some questions on what Dogecoin is and kind of where it's going. This is one of those altcoins that I don't see doing much on its own. This would be one that it's going to pretty much follow Bitcoin, maybe have a little bit of its own play on the side. There is an unlimited supply, so there can be as many as you want. I think there was over 100 and something billion already, more than XRP. And because of that unlimited supply, due to the node verification lottery that they use, it's I just don't see it ever getting above something like, I don't know, $1. That would be like the highest after inflation in a couple years. But you know, it's still a fun coin, and I don't think I'll get rid of mine. I think it'll just be like that, you know, when you go to another country and you're like, I think I'm going to keep this $1, even though it's going to be worthless in my country. You're like, I think I'm going to keep it. I think that's what Dogecoin is for me. So I'm going to keep it. I think I got like 50,000 Dogecoin. So what is that? Big ball and $100. So, all right. And the last thing I wanted to cover today was some Ripple news that I tweeted out right before I started recording this. And I actually sent it out to one of the YouTubers that I like to watch a lot, just because I like his attitude, and he has good stuff. And so anytime I don't have time to record something, I send it his way. That's Mr. Moon Lambo to the moon. So without further ado, this piece of news is new Ripple XRP corridor to India. Regulators kill digital innovation. Oh man, what could be happening? Well, in this interview for Forecast News conducted by Angie Lau, 2 Ripple executives expressed their discontent with Indian lawmakers. According to Navin Gupta, Ripple's managing director for the South Asia and, oh man, what did this stand for? I think it was Middle East and North Africa region. I hope I got that right. And Sajar Sarbai. I hope I got that right. Ripple's head of government and regulatory affairs. India is killing innovation. All right. So in this, they're basically saying how they tried to do their best to help get India into the future as far as cryptocurrency after they did the ban in 2018. The ban was lifted, and man, so many people were wanting to buy the cryptocurrency. But the Ripple executive then stressed that a framework and regulatory authority for cryptocurrencies must be created. So they tried to get all this stuff, but everything came down to this legal vacuum that Ripple was having to do with the Indian government not wanting to accept this, the banks not being able to implement it here. And there was a lot of stuff. I was honestly kind of grumpy when I read this, just because, you know, we have the answer. Here are the rules and what you can do to fix anything you have a problem with. What do you say? And they're like, nah, it's not good enough. We'll think about it, maybe. So, like I said here, the Ripple executive then stressed that Ripple has already offered a model legal framework for India. They did all the work. They made it easy for them, and they still didn't do it. But like I said, I'm going to link this in the video. If you got 5 minutes, I would read through this. Only because this video is getting kind of long. I think I'm almost at 25 minutes, but I'll leave with this. In the crypto community, there has been speculation about the creation of a new payment corridor using Ripple's technologies for India. A survey conducted by the Paxful platform revealed that this initiative would be very popular because of the general fleeing of the Indian population regarding cryptocurrencies as positive. In addition, the survey shows that 93.8% of participants invested in cryptocurrencies after the ban was lifted. There's a lot of people who are really interested in to have the boss of their country say, nah. But, however, without a regulatory policy, a clear legal framework, and the support of the legislators, it seems unlikely that this initiative will materialize in the short or medium term. Well, we don't know that for sure. They may observe what's going on in the other countries and then finally cave, knowing that there's nothing else to do, or maybe they'll find something better. I hope they find something. But that's it. Thanks for sticking around and listening to my Bitcoin analysis, just kind of where I think it's at. So I'm going to keep those charts up until we have a break because the news is boring. If you have any other altcoins you want me to go over, I will do my research for you. If I don't hear about anything, I'm probably going to do VeChain only because there's got to be a reason why it's pumping the way it is. You know, this may be a false pump. I've heard things like VeChain is working with Microsoft, and a bunch of other stuff that it could decouple from Bitcoin. You never know what you're going to hear. So you got to do your research yourself. So don't take everything I say face value. If you think you're something weird, look it up yourself. Figure it out. That's how you learn. But until next time, good night.